Look at this. Oh, perfect.
Hi everybody. I was going to show you a quick tutorial on the garter stitch. So you would start your blanket your normal way that you start, and then you would knit your first 2 rows from your chain. And after you complete your first 2 rows, that's where the pattern will start. Okay, so now I'm down here at the end, and I'm going to knit that last one. And this is where the drop stitch method starts, where I don't knit the first one of my new rows. And so you can either purl, so you can bring the yarn forward for the next 2 rows, because it's going to be knit 2 rows, purl 2 rows, or you can knit 2 rows, flip your blanket, knit 2 rows, flip your blanket, knit 2 rows. If you're more comfortable with knitting from back to front, then you flip. If you're okay with purling, then you knit 2 rows, purl 2 rows, knit 2 rows, purl 2 rows. Hope that makes sense. So if I'm going to just purl, I've knitted my last loop, and I'm going to go straight into my second loop now with a purl. And that means that I push the yarn from the front to the back instead of the back to the front. And so I would do 2 rows like that, just pushing. I'm more comfortable knitting. I feel like I have better control of my tension and loop size when I knit. I don't mind purling, but to be honest, if I make a full-size blanket with this pattern, I flip, just so you know what my personal preference is. And then you come back the other way, so you're down here, again, not knitting that first one, and just coming back the other way now, purling front to back. And then you just do a regular knit on the end. Okay, so that gives you that double garter look. So 2 rows of knits, 2 rows of purls. Now if you were going to flip, so now I would say knit these next 2 rows, because I just purled, and I'm going to show you what it looks like if you do a flip. So I'm going to quickly knit these. Drop stitch, so just go straight to second loop. Okay, so now I'm down here at the end. I've knitted 2 rows. So instead of purling, you can also flip. And this is where I feel most comfortable, because then I can knit these next 2 rows, because it's the back side of my blanket now. And so I'm over here, I've knitted my last one, and I'm just going to come around the back to loop 2 and then knit. The caveat is the loops, especially on this first row, you have to kind of pull them up. That's why the counting is really necessary, because you want to make sure that you've pulled up every one, because they kind of fall down a little bit with the flip of the blanket. Knit my last one there, do my next row. This row is easier because the loops are very visible now. I've been a little sick. If my voice sounds funny, that's why. And then you would just flip again. And then come around the back, and then you get to knit again. So flipping gives you the opportunity to just do all knits if you're more comfortable with knits. If you don't flip, then it's 2 knits, 2 purls. And that's about the gist of it. Happy knitting, everybody. Got that really beautiful garter look right there.